Yo, welcome to Wednesday's Revival, where we revive your creative spirit. Now today we're talking about the ZCam E2 S6. I've talked about how much I love this camera, but I have not talked about the lens to use with it. The ultimate lens, the lens above all other lenses. And that is, here we go. You know how cool that'd be if I'd be like, and that is, and I start to grab it, and then it goes into the intro. So the Sigma 18 to 35, some basic knowledge about it, the basic specs is, it goes down to an f1.8, which basically means the aperture goes low enough that it can capture great low light. For any visuals and any films where you need a lot of bokeh, a lot of depth. And by the way, if you hear pictures, it's because it's Miguel. Don't see his face, you just see his body. It is an 18 to 35, so it captures that good wide distance between a super wide for real estate and to a 35, which is a good establishing for different cinemas. A lot of different films like their 35 primes. When you go into 4K, when you're using the Atomos Ninja, it goes into a crop, so that actually turns this lens into like a 27 to a 50, about 27 to a 40 something. So technically with the ZCam, you are getting two lenses out of this one. With the ZCam, you can switch to, there's all kinds of different mount options, PL, EF, E-mount, micro 4/3, there's all kinds of different mounts. So I've got some pros and cons about the lens itself. I'll go with some cons first, just so if you're looking to buy this lens, I'll go ahead and put it all out. One, this lens does not have built-in image stabilization, and I know that's a buzzkill for a lot of people because they like their lenses and their bodies to have image stabilization, which if you have a cinema camera, you already know you don't need it because the heavier the camera, the less annoying shutter shakes you're gonna get. So I'm okay with it because this build turns into a heavy enough build that the shakes are film-like and they're not unnatural. And on top of that, it is a mirrorless lens, so it doesn't have like the Mikey, somebody put in the comments how to say it. But like this lens, it has the gears on it for if you were to do a follow focus. And then lastly, I would say a lot of people find because this lens is so sharp that it's not film-like. So they're not a fan of that because they want their footage to look like a Cook lens or the DZO Vespid film lens. They want it to have that natural, soft, warm look, which I'll go into it later. You can make any lens look like that. But those are the cons for this lens, at least my personal cons. There might be more, but personally, those are the only cons I have. Some of the pros, one, it's sharp. So even though that might be a buzzkill for a lot of people, it being sharp is also gonna be wild because you can manipulate that how you want it. You can have a sharp lens and make it softer, make it warmer, make it look how you want to, but you can't make a soft lens sharper without putting in some mad work post. So it being super sharp, definitely a pro for me. Also, with it being f1.8, it's a low light king. So you can drop the f-stop down and you'll be able to catch a lot of those low light scenes for whatever you may be capturing. And especially if you have it for a Sony or the ZCam does pretty good at low light, and so do Sony's. So with you being able to do f1.8 and then taking your ISO to 3200 without having to fear any grain, like, that's a good feeling. The objective of this video was that I would be giving you information on the Sigma as I was building my rig, and then by the time I built it, we'd be done talking about it, or the video would be over. But I'm horrible at multitasking. Put in the comments if you're good at multitasking, because I'm not. So I'm having to talk for a little bit, and then build, and then talk for a little bit, and then build. This sucks. Who came up with the idea? It's Miguel. Another pro of this lens is it's gimbal ready, in the sense of, like most cine lenses, when you zoom in or you zoom out, it's not, all the mechanics are inside of the lens. Nothing changes, so it never goes off balance. So this does the same thing. When you zoom in, zoom out, it doesn't go off balance. So if you balance your gimbal for it and you need to crop into 35, then you'll be fine. It won't throw anything amok. So that was the Sigma 18 to 35. I fully believe the pros outweigh the cons. I am a full supporter of the Sigma Art line, so definitely go get it. Look in the description. There's a link that'll take you right to it. But yeah, that's it. Love y'all, I really do. It only takes one to go get the Sigma. It only takes one to make your first film. It only takes one to make a change. It only takes one to change the world, and that could be you. See you next time.
Just me and you. Let's take some time to sit down and I broke my bread and poured out my wine. I did what it took to make me my bride. I'm bringing you back to the